G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are we all doing? It is a lovely sunset. It's not too cold today for once. I think it's rocking about 11, 12 degrees. Oh, not cold he says. But it is a wonderful time to get out and ride. And I thought I'd talk about something with a little bit more of a bit of zaniness today. But before we get into today's video, g'day ladies and gentlemen, my name's Nathan. I make videos about motorbikes and you guys seem to enjoy them, so I will keep making them until you tell me otherwise. So, ladies and gents, getting into today's video, I thought I'd talk about the worst things about owning a motorcycle. And of course, like I said, it's not all going to be all horrible. But I thought I'd do something a little bit different, you know, because all the other stuff has been a bit more beginner focused lately. I thought I'd do something for a bit of everyone. That bump gets me every goddamn time in that intersection. Ladies and gents, the worst thing about owning a motorcycle is truly you're just going to love the damn thing too much. And if you're a car person as well, unfortunately, your car is now going to suffer if you ride like I do. For me, personally, my car only gets driven on days where it's way too cold and I can't be bothered because I just got out of bed, or it's the days where it's raining. So, half the time when I go to start my car up, she's a little bit sluggish. She doesn't like waking up because the battery's running a bit low. So, I should get it on a tender, but I can't be bothered. It just sits outside, so keeping the battery going, it's not the move. So if you ride like I do, your car will suffer in the battery department because you're just not going to drive it as much. You will, unfortunately, save fuel because filling up a motorcycle costs nowhere near as much as a car does. Even if you thrash it everywhere, it's still not going to be as thirsty. And I know, it's horrible. I don't know how we're all going to manage in today's society with such a thing, but unfortunately, it's something you've got to come to terms with. If you're willing to ride everywhere, you're going to have to spend less money. I know. How will you do it? How will you cope? It's horrible. But yeah, it's one of those horrible downsides to riding a motorcycle everywhere. It's so much cheaper and more effective. Don't get me wrong, there are some actual downsides to owning a bike. One of the main ones is the cost of the goddamn tires. Motorcycle tires cost so much for what they are. So some of the bigger tires can set you rack $400-500 each for a single tire, whereas my tires, I think on my bike, cost me about $250 or so for one, and then you got to get them installed. So look, it depends on what you get. I think it cost me about $250 to get the tire fitted as well, in my case. But sometimes these motorcycle components, very expensive, man. It's horrible. But another major downside you guys are going to have to look out for when you get a motorbike is it's going to consume your entire personality if you're normal like a lot of people. Because you're going to hop on this thing and your entire perspective of things is going to be like, well, why am I driving when I can ride? There'll be no traffic if I ride. There'll be no congestion, no worries. How do you do it, man? How does one do it? I know it's one thing I suffer with constantly. So I'm like, oh, there's traffic today. I'm going to have to take the bike. And everyone goes, oh, but it's traffic. I'm like, I know. I'm going to have to go through the middle of it all. How will I do it? Now, don't get me wrong. On the motorcycle, there are some risks you do need to worry about, ladies and gents, especially in heavy traffic. People don't see you. People might turn out in front of you. It's happened in a few of my videos. People have watched it and they always go, how do you not get angry at people? I'm like, like I said in one of my previous videos just the other day, getting angry on a bike, it's not worth it. The risk versus reward of road rage is non-existent, especially on a motorbike. Like, it's not really worth getting angry in a car, but on a bike, bad things can happen very quickly. So if you start yelling at people, they might hit you, and coming off bikes is no bueno. Jesus, man, watch where you're going. Kind of like that guy. He wasn't trying to block, I think he was just dodging a car, but my word, whew, it happens. Stuff like that, you got to be a little bit more careful about in these heavy traffic moments. Don't let it get to you though. Just keep on going, because at the end of the day, I'm fine. So why am I mad? But if you do come off on a motorbike, ladies and gents, it's going to suck. And it's going to suck quite a bit, because on a bike, you come off, you hit the ground, and you bounce around. Doesn't matter what gear you're wearing, it's going to hurt. You get scratched, you get bruised, you might get broken, you might get disabled, honestly. So be careful in your risk things. It's a high risk, high reward thing with bikes, okay? Honestly, this is completely unrelated to the crashing stuff, but one of the worst things about motorcycles is that they completely tank your sense of speed, dude. Going 100 in a car does not feel fast at all. The first time you ever rode a motorbike, if it's been a while, it might be hard to remember, but if it's the first time you're ever riding a bike or you're getting your license soon, you're going to hop on and be like, going the speed limit and being like, oh my God, I'm going 1,000 kilometers an hour. Because let's be honest, most people who ride motorbikes have ridden a push bike in their lifetime. Otherwise, balancing might be a little awkward. But you hop on and you go, holy shite, I'm going so fast. And you look down, you're going 40 kilometers. You go, what the hell happened? And then the first time you hit the freeway, you're going to absolutely crap your dacks, mate. And I'm telling you, it's a feeling that does go away, but this is why you see those guys in their leader bikes going like 200 and 300 kilometers an hour, because the more you do it on the bike, the more you do get used to it. And like, you can go 150 on a motorcycle and it just does not feel that fast. Like on a naked bike, if you like feeling a sense of speed, I'd suggest keeping it naked, because the thing about naked bikes and cruisery bikes, like, when you go fast, you don't completely delete the sense of speed because you still feel the wind. Now, when I rode the R1, or any sports bike for that matter, when you don't have to worry about the wind as much, so when you're in a sports bike bubble, you don't really feel the wind like you do on a naked or something else. So, and believe you me, having that wind really helps bring home the sense of speed. But if you're going 200 on a super sport bike and you just don't feel the wind, you'll feel the acceleration, right? So you'll feel it pull you back into the seat. But then once you settle at 200 or so, that's it. You're still in the bubble. You don't feel the wind like slamming against your chest and stuff. And I can assure you, that ruins the speed even more. So that's where you see all these sports bike heroes going 200, 250, because when you're at the speed, man, you just don't feel it anymore. Like, obviously the world is going around you and you can get used to doing it until someone comes out of a side street and just hits you, but that's another problem for another day. But because you don't have that wind beating on you and you stop feeling the acceleration behind you, you sort of just, you've set in and you're just there now. I tell you what, you lose that, oh my god, I'm going 200. It's more just like I'm boogieing, but it's moving. So going 200 in a car feels very different than on a bike. Is it for the better? I don't know. Personally, I find it's a little bit concerning how little you feel the speed on those things. Not because I'm scared of speed, but like, it's just too easy to get comfortable going very, very fast. And like, look, man, going fast on a bike is fun. All right, no one's gonna ever say it ain't, but it definitely gets dangerous a lot faster than in a car. Because in a car, you can go 150. If you crash, look, it's not going to go well, but the chance of survival is there. On a bike, you have a head-on collision at 200 kilometers an hour, 150, yeah, look, even at 50 Ks, it can be a horrible time. So in a car, hitting at 50 Ks, it's not so bad, all right? You don't have airbags, you don't have a seatbelt, you just go whee through the sky and hit your best Patrick Star impression, you know what I mean? So there's a little bit of that to worry about. Hopefully, and in most cases, it doesn't happen. We all remember Yami Noob when he had that crash and they filmed it and you just watch him flying through the air. That's what generally tends to happen when you're going fast on a bike and bad things happen. So, one of those things to look out for, one of the big negatives, it can hurt. It can hurt. Another big downside about motorcycles, ladies and gents, is if you want to change your gear, oh boy, prepare to spread that wallet and if not, bend over for the cashier, man, because I tell you, some of the bike gear, yeah, she pricey. Like, my helmet was $1,300. I know Rourke's a bit overpriced, but still, it's expensive. Gear, jackets can cost you $600-700. Full racing leathers can cost you thousands of dollars. Kevlar pants, $200-400. Gloves, $100 or more. Heated gloves, $600. Boots, $200-300. Some of them are more expensive. It's one of those things that just, it compounds and grows and grows and grows. And it's just unfortunate because when you're riding a bike, you do need gear. Like, not everyone wears gear, I get that. But you should. Now, I'm not a serial ATGAT guy, I know this. But I always try and wear gloves, boots, and a helmet. And lately I've been a bit slack on my boots, but I always wear the gloves and the helmet at the minimum. And in winter I always wear my Kevlar jeans because it's cold. They're actually nice and warm. But guess what? You have a crash, you need to replace things now. Bam, you're out more money. Not only do you have to pay for your bike repairs half the time if it's your fault, and if it's not your fault, then you just gotta wait months to get things fixed. But then you gotta fork out money for more gear. Woo! But on that topic, you know what else is really annoying? Waiting for motorcycle parts, baby. They are exceedingly lengthy wait times. I remember I had a crash because I low-sided. Oh, look, Booze Bus! Hello! Look at all these cops doing all copy things. It's on the other side of the road. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I don't do drugs or I don't drink, especially if I'm riding. I don't really do drugs, period. But the point being is, let the boy know it's a Booze Bus. When I low-sided my bike, it took 4 months for me to get a petrol tank and, like, this clutch assembly thing. You know what, man? That's an exceedingly long wait time for something very minuscule. I should have just been like, can you just Give me my bike back and then tell me when the parts come in so I can ride. I'm sick and tired of waiting. You are killing me slowly. I would like to ride my motorcycle, please. And I don't miss it. I don't look back at that time where I was waiting 4 months for my video. Because I was doing motorcycle YouTube then. I just obviously wasn't uploading during this week because, well, what was I going to upload? Nowadays, I try and do a little bit more with my videos inside my home computer setup. Or I'll talk about an article or something, just so I can do something. Because when I made the commitment to do daily videos, my mentality of making videos changed as well. So nowadays I'm a little bit more stern on doing content, if that makes sense. At the time I was like, shit, I just made a couple occasional videos saying I'm still waiting, and like there was a guy waiting for a bike part for 14 months for his Triumph. Like, damn son, you don't want to crash. Especially in Australia where all the parts take forever. You'd think they wouldn't take that long, but no, they take so long to get to Australia. So don't crash. Those bits will leave you waiting. Like that first time you asked that pretty girl out and she left you sitting there at the restaurant, man. It's just slow, painful, and you just sit there going, why? Oh, I tell you, I don't miss having to wait for parts. But guess what? When it comes to motorcycle bits and bobs, it's just unfortunately one of the realities of the whole thing. So you're gonna have to do it if you have an accident. There's a smart car with the license plate too big. That's hilarious. So if you do have an accident, be prepared to sit there and cry about it for a little while. Now, depending on what bikes are made in your country and what you have. So if you live in Japan, you crash, you probably get a part faster for your Japanese bike. If you live in America, maybe Harley parts aren't going to take you forever to get, but they still take their time, dude. So just keep that in mind. Bikes are not always sunshine and rainbows. Another fun thing is just exactly what you saw there. Dogs like to bark at you, boy. And boy, oh boy, sometimes they will run at you. Now, oftentimes, if you just swerve towards them, if you're in an alleyway, they'll probably get scared and not bother you. Not that I've done that, or I don't think I'm doing it, but I know it works. There's a video of a guy who hops off his bike and starts running after the dog, and it absolutely shits itself. So, look, but just be careful, because if you ride through a lot of areas with a lot of strays, you might actually get nipped in the legs, and they can run pretty fast. If you, especially on a slow bike and you're stuck in there, you can't speed, they will catch up to you and try and bite your little ankles, and they will hurt. So just be aware of like little things like that. It's little things, but they add, all right? But don't get me wrong, this video is not to deter anyone from motorcycles, let's be honest. Judging by if you've looked at my channel, you might have realized I like motorbikes, dude. I like them a lot, and I ain't changing anytime soon because I just don't want to. There's just something about the maneuverability, the free flowing nature, the wind in your everythings, that just makes it impossible to say no to. I love it. But the only other thing that I would say is one of the downsides about motorcycles. Now, in summer, it can be a godsend, okay? But any other time of the year, getting stuck in the rain. Oh boy, this person in their Prius doesn't know how to drive through gaps very well. But yeah, you're sitting there in a cold day and you get stuck in a thunderstorm, it's prepared for misery. Because not only are you cold and wet and miserable now, you're going to be freezing from the wind chill. Wind chill, dude, that is one point I absolutely got to drive home. Wind chill bloody sucks. The other day it was 2 degrees Celsius when I was riding to my girlfriend's house. Now, 2 degrees at any point of the time sucks, but believe me, on a bike, 2 degrees might as well be bloody minus, 6 or minus 8, because the wind chill is awful. It just bites, and obviously I have gear for winter, but it's still cold, dude. It's awful. Will that stop me from riding there? No, it won't. But just know it's not comfortable. It's one of those things that you just get there and you go, I don't like how that feels. It's awful. But it's just the joys of riding a motorcycle. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have anything else you'd love to add on, because I'm just sort of spitballing here, leave them down below in the comments. Get interactive. I'll talk to you down there. You know I always reply to your comments. But yeah, dude, there's always something else you want to add in there. Now, you can keep it satirical or you can keep it genuine. Something that you just hate about motorcycles. Let me know down below. But otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have time for. Take it easy, keep it cheesy. You know I love you, but it's time to leave you. So have a good one. Peace. Bye!